Hello everyone, my name's Abhishek and welcome back to my channel. Okay, let's discuss about a very important thing in today's video. What is the future of DevOps engineers? Because on every video on this channel, I see this comment, Abhishek, will AI replace DevOps engineers? Or people ask this in a different way. Abhishek, if I learn DevOps today, after 5 years, will my job be secure? Will my job be taken by AI? Instead of just saying your job is safe, or instead of just saying AI will not replace DevOps engineers, in today's video, I'll actually tell you what opportunities does DevOps engineers have in the world of AI. No, it's not only about regular day-to-day DevOps activities. If you look at the job market, there are five opportunities, especially these job titles are getting very popular, and these opportunities will be filled by DevOps engineers. So I'll talk about the opportunities in detail and I'll also explain why are they suitable for DevOps engineers. So that way, going ahead, even in the world of AI, DevOps engineers will have a significant role to play. So just make sure you watch the video till the end. But one disclaimer, you should still learn DevOps. It's not that there are new opportunities for DevOps engineers, so you can directly switch to those opportunities. No, you should first start your journey as a DevOps engineer, and only then you will be able to switch to these roles that I'm going to talk about. Perfect. So just watch the video till the end. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. Let's get started. Okay. So the first role that DevOps engineers can naturally transition in the world of AI is AISR engineer job role. Now, before I explain you what is this job role, what exactly does an AISR engineer does, let me tell you, this title is gaining a lot of significance. Just in the last 1 year, 50 new AISR platforms are created. And some of these platforms raised multiple billion dollars in revenue. So this is one skill and this is one job title that you should definitely look at in the future. Now let's talk about what does an AISR engineer does. Simple. What does an SRE engineer do? SRE engineer makes use of tools like PagerDuty, probably creates an alert in PagerDuty, multiple alerts. These alerts are triggered when something goes wrong, right? What does a DevOps engineer do or SRE engineer do once an alert is triggered? SRE engineer gets the notification, probably goes through the alert or probably goes through the detailed incident, then creates a Slack channel, probably invites the relevant teams to the Slack channel, creates a Jira ticket, updates the Jira ticket with all the information that he or she has, and finally works towards the completion of the incident, including root cause analysis as well. Now, this might take a lot of time, right? Ideally, this can take up to 2 to 3 days as well. Now, what does AISR engineer does? AISR engineer makes use of AISR platforms, platforms like Resolve AI. This is a new platform, or platform like Rootly. In fact, PagerDuty recently, it is also updated. Like it also has bunch of AISR features, but predominantly these new platforms. So this engineer configures these tools within the organization, and the responsibility of these tools, along with this AISR engineer, is to automate this entire process. Of course, human in the loop is important, and that human in the loop is the AISR engineer, someone who understands these platforms and someone who has the traditional SRE knowledge as well. Now, once these platforms are created, they will automatically create the Slack channel. They will automatically perform the incident analysis. They will create the Jira ticket, update the Jira with the incident analysis. And finally, it will also create the root cause analysis document. And this root cause analysis document is shared across the teams and organizations. And people can also collaborate with the AI on the root cause analysis document. This is what AISR Internet does. I mean, this is at a very high level. Of course, every job title has multiple things to perform, but this is the main thing does AISR engineer would do in the future. Now I'm talking about 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line. You might see lot of companies hiring this job title. Perfect. Now what is the prerequisite? You should be a DevOps engineer or you should be an SRE engineer. Only then you will be able to transition to this role. Now let's talk about the second opportunity. Another opportunity that is gaining a lot of significance. I'm sure a lot of you know about this. MLOps. Now what is MLOps? Just like traditional DevOps. I'll explain you in very simple terms. Of course, we have a complete Udemy course on this as well. But just like the traditional DevOps engineers take care of complete software development lifecycle, automates the gaps in the software development lifecycle, and works towards increasing the pace of SDLC. Typically, helping the organization releasing the products quick, efficient, and secure. That is the role of DevOps engineers. Now, when it comes to MLOps, they do the same thing but for ML or AI, right? Traditional AI, that is what MLOps deal with, not the Gen AI. So MLOps is gaining a lot of significance because now every company is working towards developing their ML workloads, AI workloads. They want to have AI practices within their organization. They want to have their own machine learning models. So as companies keep working on this, just like how they have DevOps engineers dealing with SDLC, they need MLOps engineers who are dealing with machine learning lifecycle so that their machine learning workloads are deployed to production robust, secure, and efficient. Whenever there is a new release, again, MLOps engineers take care of deploying the new workload onto the production. Tools like AWS SageMaker, they are making MLOps very easy. There are a bunch of tools. AWS SageMaker, MLflow, Kubeflow. We discussed this very detailed in our MLOps Zero to Hero Udemy course. But this is another job role that is gaining a lot of significance. Now, the third role, we did not discuss a lot about this role on our channel, but this is another role which is called LLM Ops. What is LLM Ops? Just like how you understand DevOps and MLOps, LLM Ops is about large language model operations. For example, think about building RAG pipelines within the organization, right? Who builds the RAG pipelines? Because DevOps engineers have experience towards building traditional pipelines like the DevOps pipelines or CI/CD pipelines, they will be the ones who will take care of building RAG related pipelines or talk about maintaining the vector databases. It can be creating the infrastructure of vector databases or managing the vector databases, making sure these vector databases are cost efficient. Who will be responsible for it? Just like for regular databases, DevOps engineers are responsible. For vector databases, RAG pipelines, LLM ops engineers will be responsible for it. On top of that, typical LLM ops operations. For example, once your LLM is fine-tuned, you want to deploy it to Kubernetes and you want to see the performance of it. Or maybe you want to deploy it to Kubernetes for inference. Who is going to do that? Who is going to take care of Kubernetes? Obviously, the DevOps engineers who will be transitioning to LLM ops engineers job title, right? So if you know traditional DevOps, you can easily transition to MLOps, even LLM ops. The best thing about MLOps and LLM ops, the tools that are used for MLOps and LLM ops are almost the same. It can be AWS SageMaker, it can be Kubeflow, MLflow. So first learn DevOps, then if you're interested, learn MLOps. If you're still interested, you can learn LLM Ops. This is the same order in which you have to go with. Do not directly jump into LLM Ops or do not directly jump into MLOps. Follow the same order. Now the fourth job title, AI Ops. Again, something most of you must be familiar with. Lot of times we discuss this on our channel. You might have seen a lot of LinkedIn posts, YouTube videos, but still, this is one job title. Again, something that is gaining a lot of significance. What exactly is AIOps? AIOps is basically using AI in the observability space. That is the simplest way to put AIOps. But the regular definition of AIOps, using AI for IT operations. I'll give you a simple example. I'll not take a lot of time while explaining AIOps because we discussed a lot on this channel. But still, when you're dealing with observability, as a DevOps engineer, your scope is very limited. I mean, your thought process is very limited. You create alerts for things that you can see, for things that you can think of. But when you deal with AI can identify anomalies, like it can predict the future events. For example, as a DevOps engineer, you can configure an alert. If the CPU goes beyond 80%, send an alert through PagerDuty. But what AI can do, it can identify anomaly in the CPU. Maybe CPU suddenly spiked. In just 2 seconds, CPU went from 20 to 70, which is very strange. Usually, this application does not hit the 70% CPU as well, but still it went from 20 to 70. Or maybe the usual user requests are 20, but suddenly there is a user request count that went up to 1000. This is an anomaly. AI can identify it. AI can predict, okay, if this continues, maybe on 2nd of July, there can be an incident which can impact your production. That is exactly AI ops. There are a lot of tools in the space of AIOps. Good thing is that all the traditional observability platforms, it can be Grafana, it can be Datadog, it can be Dynatrace, it can be Groundcover. All of them have AIOps related plugins. Some of them can integrate with your local large language models as well. So you don't have to learn any new platform. If you're a DevOps engineer, if you're using Grafana, go to the Grafana documentation, read about Grafana AIOps solution. Or if you're using Datadog, read about Datadog AIOps solution. Start implementing it within your organization or within your hobby project. That's it. This is what AIOps engineers does. Now, finally, one role, I mean, the last role that is also gaining significance, infrastructure engineer or infra engineer. Now, this is very common role. Even today, you have this within your organizations, but mostly you call them as DevOps engineers. These days, you don't call someone infra engineer. You just make it as part of your DevOps day-to-day activity. But surprisingly, the new job title called infra engineer is becoming popular. Like we are going back in cycle. Previously, there used to be a different role called infra engineer. Now it has become part of the DevOps engineer role. But we are going back in cycle. Now again, companies are hiring infra engineer. Why is this? Because of the GPU complexity, because of LLM complexity, because deploying AI takes a lot of effort. It's not that you can make use of AI and create infrastructure for AI. It's very difficult. It's not that you can make use of AI and deploy your large language model that is fine tuned. It's not very easy to manage GPUs effectively with the help of AI. So you need someone who is constantly monitoring this. For example, let's say you work for a startup or you work for a mid-scale company and they are deploying their own large language models. Maybe they are using GPUs on AWS and then they are deploying their large language models. You need an engineer who can do this in a cost effective way. Now you might say, but Abhishek, DevOps engineers can do it. Yeah, DevOps engineers can do it. And that is exactly what I'm saying. Because you have expertise with Terraform. You have been using Terraform for a lot of time today, and Terraform is still the platform to automate the infrastructure on AWS, Azure, cloud. So you can make use of the same tool, learn these concepts. Probably you're using Terraform to create regular AWS workloads, but now using Terraform, you have to create AI workloads. That's the only difference, right? Rest the Terraform is not changed. You still have to deal with the same state file. You still have to deal with the same remote backend. So your concepts remain same, but the resources that you are going to deal with has significantly changed. I mean, in the world of AI, right? So infra engineer is something that DevOps engineers can very naturally transition. They just have to upgrade them only with few resources. Perfect. So these are five job titles that are gaining a lot of significance. In fact, you can go to LinkedIn today. You can also search for these job titles. You will start seeing them. Now, once again, I want to make one thing very clear. You cannot directly jump into any of these titles. It can be AISRE, MLOps, LLMOps, AIOps, Infra Engineer. No. First, you have to learn DevOps. Only then, maybe 3 years down the line, once these job titles become very prominent, once there will be a lot of opportunities, you can naturally look into transition to these opportunities, right? That is what I'm trying to say. So the future of DevOps is bright and safe, saying that you are ready to upgrade yourself. DevOps itself is not replaced by AI, but in future you might have very strong AI platforms, very strong large language models, I mean very efficient ones, which can do some of your day-to-day DevOps activities. But if you transition to these roles in the future, you will be safe as a DevOps engineer. Good thing, transitioning to these roles is not very difficult. Only difficult one could be LLMOps, but rest of them are very straightforward. Perfect. If you still have any questions, like if you're still worried about the future of AI, I mean the future of DevOps, don't worry. Let me know in the comment section. I'm more than happy to reply. See you all in the next video. Take care.